Addition and subtraction of fractions. When fractions represent a part of the same whole, they can be added. Example: 3/4 of this set of tokens belongs to Maria. 1/6 of this set of tokens belongs to Louis. This drawing makes it possible to figure out the fraction of the set of tokens that belongs to both Maria and Louis. We see that they have 11/12 of the entire set of tokens. Three-quarters plus 1/6 equals 9/12 plus 2/12. This is equal to 11/12. Note that we use equivalent fractions to add these fractions. 3/4 is equal to 9/12. 1/6 is equal to 2/12. Example: let's calculate the sum of 3/5 plus 1/6. 3/5 plus 1/6 equals what? One thing is certain: since 3/5 is bigger than 1/2, the sum we are looking for is greater than 1/2. To make it easier to add these fractions, we can express them using equivalent fractions that have the same denominator. For example, here 3/5 can be expressed in 30ths, as can 1/6. Why express these fractions in 30ths? Because 30 is a multiple of both 5 and 6. Here are multiples of 5. Here are multiples of 6. 30 is common to both. Three-fifths is equal to 18/30ths, and 1/6 is equal to 5/30ths. This means that 3/5 plus 1/6 is equal to 18/30ths plus 5/30ths, which is equal to 23/30ths. Second example. Let's calculate the sum of 5/6 plus 3/8. 5/6 plus 3/8 is equal to what? Considering the fractions involved, the sum we are looking for is probably greater than 1. Here, 5/6 can be expressed in 24ths, as can 3/8. Why express these fractions in 24ths? Because 24 is a multiple of 6 and 8. Multiples of 6. Multiples of 8. 24 is common to both. Five-sixths is equal to 20 24ths, and 3/8 is equal to 9 24ths. So 5/6 plus 3/8 is equal to 20 24ths plus 9 24ths, which is equal to 29 24ths. Here, we can express this fraction as a mixed number. As such, 29 24ths would be 1 and 5 24ths. The addition of mixed numbers also requires the addition of fractions. Example: let's find the sum of 3 and 3/5 plus 6 and 1/4. 3 and 3/5 plus 6 and 1/4. We add the fraction part of the numbers. 3/5 plus 1/4. This is equal to 12 20ths plus 5 20ths, which is equal to 17 20ths. We express these fractions in 20ths, since 20 is a multiple of both 5 and 4. Multiples of 5. Multiples of 4. 20 is common to both. This equals 17 20ths with 3 plus 6, the whole parts of the numbers. This would equal 9 and 17 20ths. Second example. Let's find the sum of 8 3/8 plus 5 3/4. 8 3/8 plus 5 3/4. Taking the fraction part of the numbers, we get 3/8 plus 3/4, which is equal to 3/8 plus 6/8. This equals 9/8. Be careful, the result can sometimes be greater than 1. Here, 9/8 is equal to 8/8 plus 1/8, which is equal to 1 plus 1/8. As such, we replace the fraction by 1/8 and carry the 1. Here, adding the whole numbers, we get 14. So 14 1/8. We can also subtract fractions that represent a part of the same whole. Example: 3/4 of a container is filled with boxes. We take some of the boxes out of the container, that is, the equivalent of 1/2 of the container. With this drawing, we can determine the fraction of the container that is still filled with boxes. We see that 1/4 of the container is still filled with boxes. The following calculation also makes it possible to determine the fraction of the container that is still filled with boxes. 3/4 minus 1/2, which is equal to 3/4 minus 2/4. 4 is a multiple of both 2 and 4. This equals 1/4. Note that to subtract these fractions, we used equivalent fractions with 4 as the denominator. The subtraction of mixed numbers also requires the subtraction of fraction. Example: let's find the result of 10 3/10 minus 3 1/4. 10 3/10 minus 3 1/4. We subtract the fraction part of the numbers. 3/10 minus 1/4, which is equal to 6/20 minus 5/20. 20 is a multiple of both 10 and 4. This is equal to 1/20. Then we subtract the whole part of the numbers. Second example. Let's find the result of 12 3/5 minus 5 9/10. 12 6/10 minus 5 9/10. Note: calculating 12 3/5 minus 5 9/10 is the same thing as calculating 12 6/10 minus 5 9/10. Subtracting fraction parts sometimes requires borrowing. Here we replace 6/10 with 16/10. Since 1 is equal to 10/10 and 10/10 plus 6/10 is equal to 16/10. This would give us 7/10. We then subtract the whole parts, giving us 6 7/10.